This country is hard. Everything is just getting more expensive. Everything is getting more difficult, and it has to be bad leaders. Abi, human beings are by default desperately wicked and savage. By default, it is it is religion and morality and society and rules that try to keep us in check. And so we go out of our way to try to obey them just because we are trying to pretend to care for the next man. If you leave human beings alone without rules, they are always savage. What we have in government is a set of individuals that have no rules. And so they are just perpetuating humanity in its purest form. You know, humanity in its most primal state is what is ruling Nigeria. And the hardship that we see now and everything is just a byproduct of humanity perpetuating itself in its full form. I have a theory that says that Nigeria will not get better in our lifetime. The rot we see so far in Nigeria has been there since 1999, and it is an ever growing or ever spreading cancer. So, for it to start healing it, you have to start tracing it back till you clean it up. And even if that thing starts today, when are they going to finish cleaning it up? Because the mess is like 30, almost 30 years old. So it's actually going to take long for any reforms to happen in this country. And it's because Nigerians don't realize just how deep the problem goes. Oh. We don't know just how deep. Just going to give you a few examples and throw them out there so we can understand. The first issue people always talk about is police brutality. And there was a tweet I saw one time from David Jindane, and someone said, and he said, police brutality would never end. You see this thing where you go to the road that they will harass you, that is never going to end. This is one of the reasons I tell you Nigeria will not change in your lifetime. Is because before police will change, see what has to change. The recruitment process for the different ranks in the police, Nigeria police force are different. And it is because of where they pick them from. There is a Nigerian police school where we have only one of somewhere in the north. And that is where real police officers, the inspectors, the ones that later become IGs, and those ones, that's where they go to. You get, and to get into that school is harder than NDA to get into that school. And then the rest of the police officers you see are just recruited, given basic marching training and weapons training, and they're just released into the street. They're the ones you see in your stations and on the road. They're the ones in SARS, they're the ones in your anti-cult and whatsoever. They're all over the place. Those are the ones that they pick from just anywhere. I was at the mechanic one time, and one of the guys in the mechanic was trying to solve one mass problem from one small, all this current affairs book then. Trying to solve the mass problem. And I was looking at it, I was curious because it's those kind of word problem that I had not dealt with in years. So I wanted to help him out. And I said, what was he reading for? And he said it's police exam. So I just asked him, like, well, so what do they need to do? He said, okay, he will pass, they'll write this exam, they'll pass. If they pass, they'll take them for training a few weeks, and that is it. The guy is a Falknizer today. No, there's no psych evaluation or anything. And that guy is a good guy, to the best of my knowledge. But there's millions of other people that join the police force without any psych evaluation whatsoever. And before the policing of this country will improve, we would have to now start choosing police officers wisely. But when is Nigeria going to do that one? You know why? Because it's going to take money and time and resources to make that change. And even if a good government comes, even if whoever your best candidate is, your dream candidate comes, who is to say he's going to deal with that issue in his tenure? There are other big issues. As you know, Nigeria is like messed up completely. So that's one. So when is that going to get better? You think it's in your lifetime? Secondly, the reason why there's no money, this is one misconception people have. They think Nigeria has this huge potential to become one of the richest countries in the world and do this and that and that. And I'm telling you, your leaders are working hard. This country doesn't have potential to be rich. This country is rich. Nigeria has natural resources that we don't even know about. Me and you don't even know about too. The ones we know about is oil and maybe coal and these other things. You don't know about the other little ones that are also fetching a lot of money. We are larger oil producers than Qatar, I think, and United Arab Emirates. And you see what those countries are doing. And you think Nigeria is just letting the oil waste. The oil that we report to sell officially in this country is always less than the oil that we are consuming in this country. You just hear that in one village, unknown government just came in and just sprayed the whole place and people died and they moved. Then IDP camps have just been set up all over the place. Some of those places, do you realize that those places are places that have been found to have natural resources? valuable natural resources. And you cannot tell the people, oh, your land, every human being, at least black people that I know, because we are still, in Africa, every human being in Africa is entitled to land. Is entitled to land. They will cut your share of this earth and give you. Everybody, especially guys, you know. So you and your family have land. And then people's land, you will chase them out because this country is still looking for ways to make money. And once they see land and something in that land, they will use violence and chase people out there and mine it and make that money and bring it back to the government. But you see this thing, they're doing it off the books. Off the books. So you're not recording that the country has money. When they say, oh, we made the treasury empty, it's not as if they spent money from the treasury. They don't put money in the treasury. Nigeria will come up on you and surprise you every once in a while. Like you might just be minding your business now. Then, you are walking on the street, SARS will just come, corner you, want to check your phone, want to rough you up. Every once in a while, Nigeria will happen to you. But as long as you don't let it take you away from your satisfaction and happiness, try to do that. When you hear now we are expecting prices to just keep hiking and hiking. Have that expectation. It's not going to get better, honestly. There used to be a family friend we had, this woman. She died in December of 2014 or 2015. And one of the last things I ever heard her say when she was alive, which was months before she died, yeah, was that this country will never get better. That's what she said. I was like, now wow. So am I going to just grow old into a country that is going to become increasingly difficult? And that's what has happened. That's manifested. It has become increasingly difficult since that time up until now. We were joking before that, imagine next government, somebody that will make us miss Tinubu, and everybody was shouting, God forbid, God forbid. Everybody will make us miss Buhari, sorry. A new government that will make us miss Buhari, and everybody was shouting, God forbid. How about a government that will make us miss Buhari? Now, Buhari time seems like it was luxury, it was the heaven. When dollar was, 500, you did mad. So now, the legislature that is supposed to be checkmating the executive, once you turn in, once you know what, everybody in government is so corrupt that there's no good person. Oh. Like if you really open your ears and listen to the way things are going on, you will know that there's no good person in government. There are some who have good hearts, but in terms of actions, what they do, they are doing everything possible to impoverish further the common Nigerian man and woman and child. For example, how can a court that is supposed to make sure that we uphold an election, hmm, they make sure that we have free and fair elections, move up the judgment of a case when evidence is due to come up before the initial judgment? The judgment of a case is coming up, and you move it up because you know there's clear collusion there. It's clear that the person that is about to win the case has bought this entire arm of government. That's how rotten the country is. Tell me how you want to start to fix it. So expect it. Now there are things we can do to fight it, to be honest, but I'm only thinking of like violent ways, and I wouldn't advise that. You know, before I go, I just want to see if there's one thing I want us to go with, is that see this issue of being proud of suffering in this country. We need to stop it. We need to stop it. That's where our ability to adapt to rubbish comes from. Because everybody is proud of the suffering. If I say I don't have 10K, another person will say they don't even have up to 5. And we just like to, whatever kick or whatever happiness you're getting out of doing that thing, just get rid of it. Pray for it to leave you, because you're going to become a very wretched person. There will be no clothes on your back by the time you even realize it.